Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to make Spanish paella. There are quite a few steps involved in making this dish, but it's actually really easy. Since I'm not using any meat in this paella, I decided to use chickpeas instead. So soak the dried chickpeas in cold water for at least 8 hours, or do a quick soak in hot water for an hour, then drain the soaking water, rinse the chickpeas and add them to a medium saucepan. Cover the chickpeas with water and add a few strands of saffron. Saffron is very typical in paella and it will give the chickpeas a nice floral flavor and aroma. Bring the chickpeas to a boil, add a little bit of salt and let the chickpeas cook for 40 to 80 minutes, depending on the size and freshness of your chickpeas. Next up is rice. I am using brown rice, but you can use cauliflower rice as well. If you're using brown rice, make sure it's short grain. Rinse the rice under cold running water, add it to a medium saucepan, cover it with water, and bring it to a boil. Add a little bit of salt and cook the rice until it begins to soften, but it is still quite firm for about 20 minutes. If there is any water left, drain it and set the rice aside. Parboiling the rice speeds up the overall cooking time. This is important because if you added the rice to the paella pan entirely uncooked, the vegetables in the paella would overcook. If you want to use cauliflower rice, it's really easy to make. Simply add cauliflower florets into the bowl of a food processor and pulse until the cauliflower has a rice-like texture. I have more detailed instructions in the cookbook. As I mentioned in the beginning, a very typical spice in paella is saffron. To release its flavor and aroma, soak a few strands of saffron in hot water for 5 to 20 minutes. Alright, now onto the aromatics, which are so important. Chop up an onion with a few cloves of garlic. Heat a little bit of olive oil in a large paella pan and saute the aromatics until translucent for about 5 minutes. Now, I just mentioned a paella pan. I assume that unless you're Spanish or love paella, you most likely don't have a paella pan, and that's fine. You can use any shallow, wide and round pan with slightly sloping sides. The advantage of a paella pan is that it's made of thin carbon steel, which heats up fast and doesn't retain too much heat, but you can use a stainless steel skillet instead. As far as vegetables go, I'm using bell peppers and tomatoes. Chop them up and saute them with the aromatics until soft for about 7 minutes. To achieve a smoky flavor, which is very typical for paella, I'm using smoked paprika, a pinch of cayenne pepper for a little bit of heat, the soaked saffron, and salt. Stir until everything is well combined. The last ingredient are artichokes. Quarter or slice the artichokes and add them to the pan together with the cooked chickpeas, parboiled rice or cauliflower rice, and green beans. Cover the pan with a lid and cook until the rice is tender. Now, my rice only needed about 10 minutes to become completely tender. If you think that your rice will need more time, I would recommend not adding the green beans until the last 10 minutes of cooking. When all the ingredients are cooked, take the lid off, add frozen peas, increase the heat to high, and let the paella cook for another 5 minutes or so without stirring. This will create a crusty browned bottom layer called sauerkraut. And that's it, flavorful and smoky Spanish paella. The first time I had paella, it was in Spain, and I completely fell in love with this dish. I ate it for a week straight, and then when I got home, I started making it myself. How do you like it?
I like it. I like that the artichokes are coming through with a very smoky flavor because of the smoked paprika.
Yeah.
Of course, there's smoked paprika everywhere in this dish, but it seems to come out the best in the artichokes, and the texture, the tenderness of the artichokes is really pleasing. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not really a avid artichoke eater.
Yeah, I don't really cook with artichokes. So the artichokes give this dish like a different flavor that you're probably not used to.
Yes. So if you don't normally cook with artichokes, I think this is a good entry because it's really cool. They're jarred artichokes.
Yes.
And I don't know, they're just very tender and very pleasing to eat.
Yes.
There is a base layer underneath everything that's like semi-charred, and I think there's a special word for it. Sauerkraut. And it's all seared together, all of the rice and the vegetables, and it provides a really crisp but chewy texture, and I really enjoy that as well in this dish. So please give it a try.
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.